Sure, you want to fit in, and sometimes you can go to great lengths to do that. Uh, but this might be a touch extreme, just a touch. What are we talking about? Well, let's see, starting with the IMDb plot. A bright but socially awkward exchange student takes her craving for popularity to horrifying heights. Yes, horrifying. So, I mean, I'll just start off right now, and for maybe some of you that are tuning in and seen this movie already. Let's just say after you saw the opening scene, you guessed that I like this movie. You're gonna guess that I did. Um, Certainly like that scene, and I'll get on that in a second here. But we'll see. We'll see what I think in the end. But yeah, definitely off to a good start. But anyways, yes, this is a new movie on Shutter. Definitely fits Shutter. Love when they do stuff like this. Um, but so we'll try to keep it spoiler free. I guess I guess there's not a big twist, but I guess there is some good stuff that happens later on. I'll try to be vague, but give you an idea of what is going on here and why I liked or disliked some of the stuff here. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, definitely going back to that opening scene. That was good stuff there. We get an introduction to this girl that we're going to eventually follow, and this is when she's young, and her father's doing. It starts off really bizarre. Her father's doing this kind of like experiment, and he's trying to attach like some skin to his face or something like that, and all of a sudden it goes horribly wrong, horribly wrong, and he ends up doing some extreme stuff to try to get it to stop what it's doing. And for those who haven't seen it, I will leave this to you to watch, and I won't explain everything that happens, but it's really good stuff. Blood and all kinds of craziness definitely set a great tone, and definitely what I was looking for right off the bat. Certainly a good start, and sometimes that works for or against you, especially in my mind. You start high, and sometimes it's hard to go higher. Sometimes the movie will drop and never quite reach that point again. I definitely say that, I depending on your point of view, definitely that opening scene is definitely, one of the highs. There's obviously some good stuff that I like to come, but definitely a just crazy opening scene. But moving on in the movie, we see her later. She's a little bit more grown up now, but she has to find some new people to stay with in a new school and so forth. And she is definitely socially awkward, as it says. She's definitely awkward. She also has, let's just call it a skin issue of her own, which kind of doesn't help the situation at all, kind of, furthers her awkwardness. And but she wants to, good for her. She's might be awkward, but she's a smart girl, and too smart at times, and will to come. And she continues her father's research to figure out whatever it is that he was ultimately trying to do. She wants to fix it so that what happened to him doesn't happen to her or anybody else. So when she goes to this new school, she kind of gets in with the lab instructor there, and he's also working on a project, and they get into it with whether they're trying to solve what her father did, and he was working on other stuff, and that's an ongoing issue with them. She has some other ongoing issues with one of the girls she's living with, and a couple of her friends, and let's just say this is the typical. They are the popular people. They're the cool people. They are the not socially awkward. Um, and she has a hard time fitting in, and of course, they don't like her, they think she's weird, and all that kind of good stuff that we're gonna get here. So as the movie goes on, I don't want to go into every single detail, but she's going to get closer and closer to solving this problem, or solving what her father was trying to do, and in a way she does. It kind of works for her, but of course in the end isn't perfect and causes all kinds of chaos. So I'm trying to border on being spoiler free and kind of what is happening. Let's just say it is bloody. It becomes messy. People are going to die. She is going to end up killing some people in order to further her experiment, and kind of use her experiment to, in a weird way, gain some social status. And you'll see how she does that, to kind of break away and kind of be cool. And but even in her coolness, she's still awkward. Even with the transformation that she tries to do, you have to realize that her social awkwardness is also inside. It's not just outside. So while she's able to maybe fix temporarily the outside, her inside, eventually comes true, and just leads to further chaos and craziness, and having to kill more and more people as the film goes on. So yeah, I don't want to get into the specifics for those who haven't seen it. Watch it. Obviously, maybe you've seen the trailer, maybe you have hints at what is going on. Certainly, like I said, gets bloody. She's going to kill some people. Fun stuff what she does. Kind of going back to that beginning scene, as I keep mentioning, does any of it really reach that? I don't know. I would say maybe the closest thing might be the way that the film ends, the ending of it. It ends in a little bit bizarre way. I won't avoid it, and I will say that when thinking about this movie, I almost want to call it The Substance Light, for those who have seen The Substance. If you have not, suggest you do. If you really didn't like this movie, I don't know, maybe The Substance isn't for you. If you did like this movie, watch The Substance. I think that this is, maybe a lighter version of that. Also kind of curious, I don't know, what movie was finished first, this or The Substance. I didn't check. I'm going to guess The Substance was. Yeah, I don't want to say it because, then that kind of spoils things, but I guess there were similarities, let's just say, towards the latter half of the movie, and I'll leave it at that. For those who have seen both movies, or when you see both movies, maybe you'll know what I'm going at. It seemed a little close in what was going on, and the way this one, the final thing that ends in this one, and certainly what eventually happens in The Substance, and how that kind of ends. They both kind of moved in the same direction. So, this one kind of gives it its own little spin. And, but yeah, I would say the end of this one and the beginning and the end of this movie are definitely the highlights. Not to say there isn't any blood and guts in between. That's, with some good parts as well. I just, I would say for me, I really wasn't feeling her. And, I guess, the whole story just, it's a story that we've seen before, kind of, a person getting bullied, and, they overcome, she's overcoming in a different way, a horrifying way. So props to that. But there's just a lot, after you get that opening scene, then you have to get through the setup of her, getting in this new environment, new school, meeting all these people, and kind of, seeing where she falls with that. And, even though the movie's not long, it says an hour and 36 minutes here, you still have to kind of weed through that part of before you really get into, her experiment and what it is and what's going to happen, and then the craziness that follows. So, when going through these movies and thinking about it and that stuff, I know, we understand, the steps, you have to go through to make the movie, set up the characters and all this nonsense. But you guys know me, if they're running blood and guts, for the hour and a half, I'm fine. It doesn't have anything spectacular. Don't need an Oscar. Don't need huge story. If the blood and guts are coming in, it's good. Let it roll. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just really wasn't interested in that, and I'm maybe part of her bullying and so forth can relate to some people, and like I said, it's a story we see often in horror, definitely in the last maybe while for now. We get all that, and that's fine. And if you really get into the character and you really feel sorry for her, that's fine. I just wasn't diving into it. She was awkward, and I guess that just made it awkward to watch, and really wasn't interested in any of that. Once it got to what her experiment was, and then when it went crazy, then I was more intrigued and watched all that craziness that happened. So I would say definitely a great start, then some and then it started to roll, and I guess if you want to go, we started up here, and then it kind of went down here, and then we kind of we got back up to maybe that same level or close to it, and then the movie was over. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the way it is that. So that's why I kind of say it's the Substance light, because the Substance, once that got going, that was just nuts, bizarre, crazy, and fast moving, and it was just into both those characters and everything that happened in there. Did that review, check it out, made my top 10 definitely. If you're not sure what the hell I'm talking about, Demi Moore did win an award for that movie, and probably gonna win some more. So anyway, back on point, we're talking about this movie. This movie is, I would say the Substance light. So definitely, if you like this movie, definitely check that one out. If you check that one out, check this one out, whatever, and see, what you guys think about both of them. But definitely, if you're into body horror, into blood and so forth, it's there. It mentions dark romance here. I guess there's some of that as well. And definitely some psychological horror as well. So definitely have to be psychologically messed up to do what she eventually does. So anyway, with that, I think you would have probably thought maybe with the blood and guts I'd give it higher, but I think I'm going to go with 3 pools of blood, just because I wasn't into that after that beginning part, and just wasn't totally into her. Liked the blood and guts in the movie, and liked what she eventually did and so forth. That was all fun stuff, but as far as keeping me kind of entertained and into it the entire time and so forth like that, I don't know, not quite. So I'm gonna give it 3 pools of blood, right down the middle here. And I should have mentioned at the top. I don't think I did. This is on Shudder, so definitely for those that have Shudder, you can check it out there, and then we'll see it eventually come out in more places later on. So again, that's 3 pools of blood out of 5. So horrorsquarereviews.blogspot.com is where you can find all of my reviews, written and video. Certainly mostly video reviews for a while now, so you can like and subscribe and do everything else that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. If not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. And Twitter, Facebook information down below. You can follow me there. Talk horror, this movie, other movies, The Substance. And definitely down in the comment section, if you've seen both of those movies, which one do you like better? Do you agree that this one is Substance light, or maybe The Substance is the Grafted light? I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are. If you've seen both movies, kind of like to see what you thought versus each other. So with that, I will catch you in the next review, horror fans.